I want to talk about another issue, which is the close down of our rights. Not only did we start censoring people at the very, very beginning, and you know, Hamilton, Madison, Adams said we put freedom of expression in the First Amendment because all the other all the other rights depend on that. If you give a government license to silence its critics, it now has license for any atrocity. So as soon as they knew they could censor us, they then went after the other part of the First Amendment, freedom of worship. They closed every church in this country without any scientific citation for a year, without any notice and comment rulemaking. Democracy was simply abolished. They then went after freedom of assembly. They told us we had to social distance. They went after our property rights, the Fifth Amendment. They closed 3.3 million businesses with no due process, no just compensation. They got rid of Seventh Amendment jury trials. They said if you're involved with a countermeasure, no matter how egregious the injury you caused, no matter how negligent you were, no matter how reckless, you cannot be sued. And here's what the Seventh Amendment says. It says, no American shall be deprived the right of a trial before a jury of his peers in case there are controversies exceeding $25. Well, it does. There's no pandemic exception. And by the way, the framers knew all about pandemics, because there were two epidemics during the Revolutionary War. One, there was an epidemic, a malaria epidemic in Virginia that decimated General Washington's troops. There was a smallpox epidemic that disabled the armies of New England at the very moment they conquered Quebec, and they had to withdraw. Otherwise, today, Canada would be part of the United States. And by the way, we've had epidemics, but between the end of the Revolution and the ratification of the Constitution in 9 years, there were epidemics in every city that killed tens of thousands of people. Cholera epidemics, smallpox epidemics in Philadelphia, New York, Boston, etc., malaria epidemics. They knew all about them, but they didn't put that in the Constitution. The Constitution was built for hard times. It wasn't built for the easy time. It was built during the Civil War. There were 659,000 soldiers who died in the Civil War. That's the equivalent of 7,200,000 today. Our country was this close from falling apart. It was a much worse crisis than this pandemic. Yet when Lincoln tried to ban habeas corpus, the court said, you can't do that. You cannot do that. It doesn't matter how bad the crisis is. You cannot do it. It's the Constitution. It's the heart and soul of our country. President Trump said, well, these bureaucrats came at him from every side, and they were all telling him he had to do it. He had the right instincts. He knew that he shouldn't have closed down the country, but he did it. He got rolled by his bureaucracy.